Okay, then this is AQA English Language, Paper 1, Question 3. Just some very, very quick tips. I know you'll have done lots of revision, you'll have been taught this inside and out, but this is just things that spring to mind when I would be sitting an exam thinking, what do I need to remember? Okay, question 3 is a little bit dreaded. It's dreaded by students and it's dreaded by teachers. But actually, if you look at the exam board's sampler material, it isn't that complicated and it isn't that difficult to get a high mark. Obviously, we're no longer on language, we're on structure. Make sure you don't overlap them. Question 3. Look at the whole of the source. Now, that has always been the way, the whole thing. But you never know. The examiners one year might decide to change their mind. So just look specifically. If it gives you a kind of a reference to certain lines, go there. But it should be whole of the source. Also, make a note of where it's from. It'll tell you it's from the middle of a short story, the opening of a novel. The opening of a novel is the one that you want because we don't know anything. The reader has no knowledge of anything that's going on. So the tone will be set immediately. How are we going to learn about the characters or the situation? That's one thing that could be interesting. Now, if we look at the bullet point, it says, you could write about what the writer focuses on your attention at the beginning, how and why the writer changes this focus of the extract develops, and any other structural features. What it's getting at is you will talk about the beginning. Why is it interesting? Is it tense? Is it, boring and then it gets better? Is it fast paced and media res? All these types of things. But it's the beginning you want to focus on. Then I would look for a shift. And then we talk about how you feel at the end. The key word for this one is feelings. A lot of people get confused by this one, but I want to think about how it makes you feel. Now, this was issued by AQA themselves. Possible questions that you ask yourself. So look at question 1. When I first start to read the text, what is the writer focusing my attention on? Simple. Is it a location? Is it a person? Is it a feeling? Is it an action? Does it say, the knife was held in the man's hand, it was dripping blood? And then I'd want to know kind of who is that? That's interesting me. Again, you might want to pause and have a little look at some of these and work your way through the whole extract. All right then, question 3, top tips. I think you must plan this one. Personally, although I would go chronologically through the whole extract, it still needs a plan, even if you just kind of plot it out in your mind or do a mind map. Because it is slightly harder to understand because it's not like a literature paper. You haven't really done this in literature. Yes, you talk about structure in general, but you don't really do this. Make sure for the question that you understand what structural features are. If you drop in, similes and metaphors, they are not structural features, they're language features. I have a slide coming up which should help you out with this one. Read the question. Does it say interest you as a reader, or does it say how does it, create a frightening atmosphere? They might change the question slightly, so read it, underline it, read it again. My top tip, there's loads of teachers have different ideas, and I'm not saying they're wrong by any means. I've seen some great answers. But personally, what I like to do is just look at the beginning, look at a shift in focus, and then explore the end. It's nice to make some links. For example, is the beginning and the end the same tone or the same feeling or the same location or even the same words in it? Then it could be kind of circular narrative or cyclic, and that might be significant as well. Is there a huge kind of change in pace from the beginning to the end? That could be quite exciting. Does it begin in an exciting way and then calm down with kind of an anticlimax? That would be interesting to look at as well. When it comes to writing it, I would always have one-line overview. It'll keep you focused. For example, how does it interest you as a reader? You might say, the extract begins in a very calm way and then quickly develops into something a lot more fast-paced, dangerous with a sense of peril. That would be one line, but it'll keep you focused, which means then your answer will develop each one of those points you made very quickly. Now, this is what we've been talking about recently as teachers, feelings. How do you feel at the beginning, in the middle and the end? Now, that sounds quite complicated, but actually if it's first person and there's someone biting their nails, then you can say they're nervous. Therefore, you could say that the reader can empathise with the first person and we feel nervous. Just steal their feelings. It's a dead simple way to get some good marks. Another way to get some quick marks is to state specifically what you want to know next or any questions that you want answering. For example, if it's that a man standing there with a bloody knife, why is he there? Who is he killed? Who is he? Those types of questions. Don't just say it makes me want to know more, it makes me want to read on, because that's cop out. Say, specifically, It makes me want to find out why the man has attacked the whatever. Be specific, proving that you've actually read the text. As I said before, please don't analyse language devices. It won't get you any marks, okay? It's more about how the words make you feel, but you must put quotations in. For example, the man was biting his nails. There's your quotation. This makes me think of a sense of nervousness. There's your exploration. But I'm not saying, he's biting his nails. Nails is a noun, biting is a verb. It's not really going to help you. And also, although everybody hates this question, there's no real reason to. It's only 10 minutes. Don't panic. As long as you're kind of shuffling your way from the top to the bottom, you'll be absolutely fine. Now, as I said before, very quickly, if I was you, I'd pause this and go through. This is really handy. I borrowed this from a teacher. Now, these are different sentence stems. The extract begins with, but the structural devices themselves, foreshadowing, zooming in, zooming out. Does it go from the internal world of someone's mind to where they're sat and the difference, the way they feel? You could have a really furious man sat on a very calm bus, and that would be nice juxtaposition. Loads and loads of different ideas, but keep going back to, if you look at that last column, makes the reader feel. Think about how you feel, what your feelings are, puzzled, sad, anxious. Keep putting them in time and time and time again. Okay, again, here's a lovely example for you. And it works its way from the top down to the bottom. I'm not going to read it all. You can pause it if you'd like to have a little look. But you'll see there's lots of subject terminology, there's lots of examples, there's lots of evidence. Keep remembering you must put in quotations. That's kind of like the death knell for an essay that doesn't have any quotations in when it's a reading exam. Okay, that's about it. I know I've been very, very quick, but hopefully I'm just topping up what you already know. Good luck, you can do this. Just remember, structure, structure, structure. Good luck.